Okay, let's have a look again. I mean, let's have another game. I mean, okay. Kanza. How's Kanza doing? Who's Kanza? Kanza is. Oh, Minis Canap. No rematch, he says. Oh well. Yes, E6 is covered at the moment. Can he get the other rook in? He could have got the other rook in. Oh, he's going to win in time anyway. So they're playing bullet. Okay, watch him again. Playing bullet, I suppose. While we're waiting, have got the pairing, auto pairing set for a 15-minute game. F5 control. Aha, we have a game, Nimbus. Let's close that one. Whoops, wrong one. That's a user console. How's Nimbus doing then? I haven't played a 15-minute in a while. His rhythm seems quite natural. Might be mistaken. No, I think it's hopefully got a chance. Hopefully. Right, what to do? So d6, he can just take a pawn, rook b8, queen b6, queen a5 here is a bit crude. Interesting. Difficult to see a plan. Don't want to weaken d5 clearly. Can I play knight d4? Alright. Knight e5. b3, and there's something non-tactical. That might be a good gambit, d6, just allow him to take and play rook b8. Bit of pressure, then bishop b7 after. I'm going to do that as a gambit to see what happens. It gives me b-file pressure. Tempo gainer, bishop on c6. So maybe bishop h3 as well as bishop b7. Okay, let's see. Just some active play here. So bishop h3 and well, bishop e7 just to try and scoop up the knight square bishop will be enough. But if he moves that back, bishop e6 puts some pressure on the queen side. That's a radical solution to the position, but it seems to be quite good here. So b3 I can play across that diagonal surely. What about just queen c8 and bishop h3? Again targeting, okay, here again targeting c4 and for bishop h3. So have I got enough compensation for the gambit? What do you guys think on YouTube when I upload this later? Enough compensation? Or the game result determine that. I think it looks quite good here. Bishop h3 if I want to get rid of that bishop. Bishop f5 first. What's not needed? I think just bishop h3 straight off the bat. Knight d5. Eyes on that. I'll take. Okay. I'll play this. Check. So knight d5. Or the z6. So king moves. Maybe rook c8 then. Rook c8 or anything else. Knight d5 is going to be a powerful move. What about e6? There's no knight e4. e6 then rook d8. Just to deprive that knight d5 move. Queen f3. Queen f3. Otherwise, okay, I'm going to play e6. He plays e4, say. Rook d8. Right, so queen c5 here. Keep the queens on. Suppose, okay. Let's see. Looks like a fun position anyway. h5 and knight g4 for knight e5. Also f2 could be an issue. Okay. Sinking his time here a bit. Okay. Deep thought. So knight e4, I can play knight takes e4. I'll be on the bishop. He plays bishop g7, maybe knight d2 there. Queen moves and there'll be a check. Okay. So, is e6 desirable to prevent knight d5 in principle? That's the question. One question. Actually, there's knight a4. Forcing move on which just attacks the queen and f6. Actually, queen f3 is on f6. Tactical vulnerability spotted by the forcing move. Whoa. Cannot play e6. Hang on. Queen f5. Can play that just about. Okay. Would I want the exchange of queens? Probably not. On the other hand, this knight on d5 isn't that pleasant either. So, double pawns there, more central pawns. Go with centre pushes later. Control of e4 maybe. Maybe it's worth it. e6 and queen f5. So e6, knight f4, queen f5, take. Say rook d1, rook d8. c5, d5 would be like quite good in the centre. what are my forcing moves here? Queen f2, not particularly good. Queen c4, rook b3. There's no tactical kind of vulnerabilities. But by the way, yeah, another thought occurred to me about that over the board game recently, about the choice of the two moves. Where one, okay, was seemingly brilliant at the time, knight sack to play queen e5, which seemed to win. But the other one seemed to be gaining a smaller advantage. Okay, not mating, maybe a king chase, but definitely an advantage. Now you could look at it. I thought, oh, he's played that one after all that time. Well, isn't there the knight d2 stuff we just looked at? There's a risk in principle. That's all I wanted to say. There's a risk in principle. Like here, there's a risk in principle because of knight d2, and this bishop reprise. And also there's knight g5. There's knight g5, queen c3. Okay, that protects bishop. So knight d2. Okay, so what is a good move here? Knight d2. Knight takes f1. It's got knight d2 on knight g5. Knight g5. There's also like queen c6 and knight h3 mate. So you have to play like queen c3 check. You have to play f3. So knight d2 queen c3 is a bit of a pain. Or is it? Knight takes f1, bishop takes threatening mate. So maybe simply just taking then. He's got a point here. Has he? It would seem to be a point is mained here. So if I just take that one, then a5, just aim for structural damage. I mean, I'll do that. Nothing clever. Just a5, a4, just aim to break the structure on the queen side. Maybe rook b4, bit of compensation. Yeah, I think one of the moves was a risk. You could say a risk in principle. I don't know if that's a standard term. A risk in principle, independent of being able to calculate it to make sure it's a risk. There's a risk in principle because it's a knight sack. The other one wasn't such a risk in principle if it was getting a pawn at least without any sort of need for any sacrifice. So I suppose it's simple chess versus brilliant chess. Simple chess is less likely to have huge holes in it compared to striving for brilliant chess. Okay, so a4 here, the rook d5, queen b4. That looks good. Putting on the pressure. So b3. I'm trying to dismantle this queenside structure. Still. Luxurious use of the clock here. A minute move will be like 6 moves at this pace. Okay, so there's a possibility of a3. I could just tuck my king in. I think I'll tuck my king away for a sec to avoid all these checks and stuff, and then try and build pressure with rook b4. Actually, e7 is on. Hang on, rook e2 takes. E7. That's a bit of a blunder, isn't it? Why didn't I spot that before? Because I was attacking bits and bobs over here. But okay, gaining the active rook is fine, I think. Just about. Something has to be done about that e7. Yes. So queen e7, rook e8, queen d6, unfortunately, queen d6, rook d6, rook e2. Okay. I've got an active rook here, I've got 2 active rooks. He's got the extra material. Now he's 2 pawns up, but hopefully it's going to be 1 pawn up soon. Diced pawn structure over here. I need to play King G7 if he plays Rook D1, probably to keep the rooks on. Well, it seems okay. The rooks are brilliant. A4's great to break the chain. Rook D1, King G7, Rook D8, Rook B4, for example. Lots of pressure everywhere. I don't think the pace of this is very good, the clock use in this game. The first opponent played too quickly. I think he's playing too slowly. He's going to try and blitz or something in the last minute. I mean, he has been playing bullet or 2 minute, but even so, I just think it's a bad principle. Two pawns up, but surely one of them's going to drop. I have 2 rooks on the 7th, C4 and A4 under fire, as well as F2. When I play Rook B2 and Rook C2, I can't see that being banned for me at the moment. Am I being optimistic? That's the question. He's going to put his rook in a silly location. Okay. So this one's tied down, this one's sort of tied down. It's not going to be able to move soon without losing a pawn. Okay. My king's a bit tied down though. And this king, I don't know. He plays H4. So King F6, can the king wander? C7 check. King E7. Check, King D7. Maybe if you change check there. No, that wouldn't be check. So there, King F6, C7, King E7. There's no major disaster there, is there? Check, King D7. I don't think I'm getting mated. Rook A7, Rook C7. Let's get the king out. I have to stop C8. I have to stop. Oh, I might mess this up. Whoops. Actually, King C8, no, Rook D8 mate. So I have to play Rook D2. Whoops. Can I have just left my king there? That's a real shame. Okay. I thought Rook D1 was a lot stronger. G5 here. If I just want to be 1 pawn down. 2 pawns down still. Right there. 2 pawns down. Looks a bit clearer than before. The 2 pawns down. No, 1 pawn down. Count pawns. 1, 2. Okay, okay. Okay, I've got Rook C5 if I need to defend. Then you also get the king back over there. And I think I'm going to offer a draw. And he's refused. So okay, game on. So can he beat me from this position? Probably. Okay, so if I just double on f2 as a first plan, prime vote f4, so he's on that again. So if I provoke f4, is that any use? Alright, king or rook f6 to stop the checks. So king g6. Well, let's repeat here for a sec, because I've got my rooks on f2. Why would I want to move them away? Okay, he's gonna mate me or something. Just shield that check over there. Okay, he's gonna coordinate the rooks. Okay, like this. On g6 now, I suppose. What about h4? I want to play h4 and rook g3 if I have my rook here, I think. We'll just allow rook g6. If I allow rook g6, we'll just h4, just simplifying again to one pawn. There's no f4, rook f4, or rook g3 in fact. Time reserves running out, 2 minutes, but he did use a lot of time earlier. Is h3 for rook f2? Probably hg is simplest. This rook f2, h3, rook f2. He's offering a draw now. Okay. Probably I should accept it here. I think I will. Okay. I did lose a few points, but I'm not going to try and win from that position. So the gambit didn't. Yes. Yeah, I think too casual here. After a4, I was thinking about my own undermining. I forgot about e7. Bit of a detail there. But even so, I think he was on the verge of winning this if he just played rook d1 check. So even forcing that, then these pawns are indeed dangerous. I don't know. Or the rook's in a difficult spot actually. I don't know if it's going to get overloaded there, and there'll be king c8 after winning a pawn. I think that might. I don't know. So yeah. Yeah, comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.